Hey guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today is the day. It is my June planner lineup. So you can see here that I am downsizing just a little bit. I am keeping mostly, actually, it's all the same setup in terms of like the different sections that I'm using, the different planners that I'm using. The same kind of lineup for all of 2021 is really what I'm still using in June, but I've decided just to experiment a little bit with some different sizes. And so you can see here that I have a planner that I have kind of customized for myself. This is a setup that it's about the size of a half letter A5 junior size planner. And you'll see as I flip through it that I've basically punched in some things pretty much as is, and then some I've like DIY'd myself. And so let's just get into it. So the very first thing here you can see is that it is 8 discs. This is the setup that you will see for junior sizes. So there are several planner brands, not the Happy Planner, but other planner brands that have an A5 or a half letter junior size. And so I thought that I would like at least try to experiment with converting some of the Happy Planner stuff down to a junior size. And so that's kind of like what I've got in here. Plus I have like old inserts that I wanted to try to use up. So I do have Happy Planner discs on here. There are only 8 metal gold discs. This cover right here, I'll show you the back, is from Talia. I got this from Amazon, and it's like a frosted, like kind of textured frost cover from Talia, and I thought it looks really good as a cover for a junior size planner. It's pretty durable, but there's a little bit of flex to it, so it's not quite as thick as the Happy Planner cover, but I will link that so you can see that. And then the rest of this is just like me piecing together all sorts of bits and pieces. Now, as I start flipping through this, I will just go ahead and warn you that if you are a fan of like having everything be like exactly the same size, and you know, like looking very nice and neat and with like no ragged edges, this is definitely not the planner video for you to watch, because like there are different sizes in here, things are kind of like just thrown in here. It's just kind of a mishmash, and I actually really enjoy that. It gives that kind of like variety to me, and it keeps me kind of interested in my planner. But if that's not you, you know, you do you. If that will bother you, then please don't do this, and don't convert everything to that if you already know yourself well enough to know that you're not going to enjoy all the different sizes. But I personally do enjoy that, and so what I did here first, this is a cover. It's actually, honestly, I don't even know where it's from. My sister, who was planning with me for several years, decided to try to be a little bit more functional. So she ended up like maybe like a year ago giving me a bunch of her old stuff. And so some of this is like her old stuff that I've just decided to go ahead and try to use up. And this is one of the covers from one of those A5 sizes that she had. And I don't really even remember where it's from. I think it's a Michaels Recollections cover from one of their like book-bound planners, but I don't know for sure. And then I have a bunch of like just random Sudoku pages that I just like to have in here to play, and then some note pages. Again, like you can notice there are different sizes. You'll also notice here that like initially I had it punched for 6 ring, and then I changed my mind and I haven't bothered washi taping over it. So anyway, it's all punched in there. But here begins the my work section. So this cover right here, or like this old cover, is meant to be my section divider for my very first section, which in my Frankenplanner is my work section. So I do have a work section in here. I showed in a previous video how I cut down these Happy Planner inserts to A5 or junior size. And so I have this in here. I do still use my big work planner. And so this is really here just to like take notes on the go for work. I will be traveling in the month of June quite a bit. And so this is just for me to like jot down anything that I need to know for work. Yeah, so it's just for work, so that way I can transfer it to my big work planner when I get back to my house. I don't carry my big work planner around with me, especially on like vacation, things like that. So I'll make notes here and then transfer it back into my big work planner in my pretty handwriting when I get back to my desk. And then I did cut that down to size. And then here is just a random sheet. This came from one of the Recollections like bucket list, like book-bound books, which I do have the cover in here back later. But so this is the bucket list sheet. But this one was a blank one, so I thought this would be good just to like have a running list of like work tasks that I have coming up. So it'll just be my work list and just be a task list. And again, all this information gets transferred into my big work planner, which I am still using. This back page is a monthly goals sheet. So you can see here it has goal description and then a deadline finished. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals with a deadline that I can set and a check or a spot to check off whether I did it or not. So I thought that was nice just for a work setup. I don't know if I'll even use it, but it's there if I do. The second section, again, this is, I believe, a Recollections planner. I honestly don't know. I ended up like punching it a bunch of times and it was a little bit uneven, and so I washi taped over it. I did that for the first section as well. I washi taped over it, and so then I could repunch it, and so that is that. This one says to do, and it's not necessarily like the perfect name for this section, but this is my catch-all section, and so, you know, I do have my personal to-do lists in here, so you know, it was the best of the choices that I had. So in this section, what I did was actually cut down a color block student layout from the Happy Planner. And so what I've decided to do was just to try to use daily pages with the color block layout. And you can see here that what I've done is basically like created it or converted it into an hourly layout. I trimmed off like this edge right here, where it's just 3 boxes, and this is actually the right hand, actually it might be even the left hand side, and I flipped it upside down. Let me just check over here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's upside down. So basically I flipped it upside down and cut just like the left hand side. It's meant to be like this, but because of the way that the pages sit, I thought it sat better on the rings if I flipped them upside down. So again, like, this is not the system for you if these different kind of like measurement errors or like the asymmetry of it will bother you. So anyway, I cut these down to size. I did go ahead and label them with a daily, like a date for June. So I have pages 1 through 30, and then I went ahead and like wrote in all the hours. And so this is hour 5, although I don't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So this is kind of like an all day event kind of box. And this might be also an all day event holiday kind of box. And then, you know, starting at 7, 8, 9, 10, and it runs all the way down until 2 o'clock the next day, which I'll just count as like June 1st runs until 2 a.m. On the 2nd. And so I just have a bunch of those pages. I don't think that I'm going to be using the back, like the left-hand side right here. I'll just write on the right-hand side. And I have it all the way until the 30th. And that's pretty much it. Then what I have in here is, again, like just more notes pages. And, you know, again, like all sorts of different sizes. This is actually paper that's been cut down to mini size. And so that's in here. And then again, like some random pages from like these different inserts from these different book-bound books. This was one of them, and again, I just feel like it's kind of a checklist kind of thing at the very back that would work. And then I have some extra pages. Actually, these can go. I won't be able to use those, right? And so that is my personal section. And so that's section number 2. Section number 3 remains in the same order as in my Frankenplanner from 2021, and my section 3 is budget. So obviously I had a budget one. This is, again, I believe the Recollections A5 half letter junior size book bound book. So I cut it off the book and I washied it, put it in here for my budget section. And so this first part right here is just like the beginning page of it, like it's the cover of it. And again, you can see here it had 6 rings, and I tried to use it with a ring bound planner, and I didn't like that, so I switched it over to disc bound, and I didn't bother washi taping it. I did for the section cover just to do that, but I didn't bother here. And so this is what the setup is for this book-bound book. It has the monthly budget, and this is a savings kind of setup. And it says savings, but really it's mostly bills. So you see things like mortgage bills, electricity, gas, garbage, water, vehicle payment, insurance, gas, transpo, insurance, phone, cable, internet, loans, entertainment, personal, medical, pet, credit card, emergency fund, and then some spaces for you to write your own amount. And this is where you can kind of put out your budget. So there's a projected amount and then an actual amount that you have for the month. You also have starting balance and ending balance running across both pages. And then here is where you do the savings. So it says goal description, the goal date, the amount to save monthly, and then your goal total. And then you have the actual amount that you did save. So here's your budgeted savings and your actual savings, and then what's your current goal balance. And then you can just run down here. There's spots for 3 goals, and then a final balance, income plus your checking deposits minus your actual bills from this side minus your savings deposit this side leaves you with your ending balance. All right, so I thought this was a nice setup. I am switching into this for June, but I'll probably be switching back into like my, I don't even know. I haven't decided yet. I might switch into a Happy Planner like classic budget expansion pack for July. I'm not really sure. So anyway, this is part of the fun for me of doing a discount is I can do whatever I want to month by month. So we'll see where I land for July. So that's the budget savings. Then it just has spinning trackers with date, item, and the dollar amount. And so these pages are pretty straightforward, I think. And there are 6 of those. And then here is a page that says 10 ways to save today, date, and then like, I'm not sure, it says double X. I'm not really sure what that means. It could be like maybe a note to yourself for like a dollar amount, and then 10 ways to save. And then here are some goals sheets. It has a goal and then ideas for achieving that goal. And then it repeats. And this is the like left side that repeats. So this is really meant to be the next month. And it's just, since it's the back of it, that's kind of where it ends. All right. So then the 4th section, again, just following the order of my Frankenplanner, in my 4th section is always my wellness. And again, I didn't have a wellness cover, but this fitness one was the one that fit the best. And again, I cut it down from the book-bound planner, washi it, and then punched it so I could have this section divider. I went ahead and cut out a picture of some sandwiches. One of the things I'm going to try to do in June, and this is my visual reminder to myself, is to try to automate and routinize some of my meals. And so for breakfast, lunch, trying to eat the same thing every day with some variation. You know, it's not going to be exactly the same sandwich every single day, but I want to move into like having the same meal for breakfast and lunch, and then only having variety for dinner. So that's my goal. And so that's what this picture is all about, is just to remember that I'm trying to get into that routine of like basically making dinner be the only meal that's different. And then what I did here was again cut down classic size Happy Planner pages for this DIY planner that I've got here. And so one of the things I'll show you is that I do trim. You can see here I trim out this like the 3 boxes on the right hand side, and this one is like the left hand, or like the back of this sheet is like the monthly page, so I glued this sheet to it. But on this side, I went ahead and trimmed around it, and one of the things that I noticed was I cut off the words. So again, if that bothers you, just make sure that you're trimming on the left side for the wellness layout. But I know what it means, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll use this pretty much as is. There's a food log. Again, I'm trying to make it pretty routine, so I'm only noting anything that's different in terms of like whether I ate something different for breakfast or snacks that were a little bit different than what my routine would be. And then I used this box. I have been using it in previous months as like kind of a gratitude journal, so I might still do that. And then there's an exercise spot, and then like kind of an intention or focus box here. And what I normally note here are like any kind of health or beauty notes. Like I put in my weigh-ins. I talk about just different things that I do here in terms of self-care, like minor self-care. So those are all kind of how I use these 4 boxes, and you can see they kind of flip back and forth depending on the layout or like the planner, but I use those 4 sections. There's always a gratitude section, a food log, exercise, and then like a me/self-care/health box. And so those are the sections, and this is my fitness, the Happy Planner part. Then there's also like I cut it down another set. Okay, so then there's also like, I don't know where these came from. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't think it came from the Recollections book. I'm not really sure, but there's like some like more detailed breakdowns of like workouts and meals. And so I don't think I'll use both of them at the same time. I'll use either the Happy Planner like wellness layout or these sheets. And I don't have like enough for an entire month. So I have like maybe 5 or 6. So maybe there's a week that I decide just to go hardcore and like really get back into like working out and like really wanting to make note of the food that I eat and tracking the calories and things like that. So I would use those pages for that. But I just don't think I'll use it every day. Then these are the pages from the fitness book bound, like this fitness planner. And what we have here is a review, and this is actually like the back page of one. If you flip over, what you see here is fitness goals for the month, and then you have 5 goals that you can set, and then you're able to do that for multiple months. And again, like these are old inserts, so I don't know if they had like multiple months or what, but anyway, what it does is on this side starts with the weekly fitness, and you have a breakdown for the entire week. And then if you flip over here, you have nutrition, and then this is meant to be like kind of an overall spread where you have the month and then the week for that month. And you have over here your nutrition with like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And here is snacks and water. And it's meant to run across the entire row like this. So this is Sunday all the way across. And then what we have here are weekly habits. And so you can just put in weekly, like I like to use like wellness related habits here. And so you have that for 2 months and then it repeats again. All right, so here we have, wait, no, it doesn't repeat. So here is review, right, for 2 months. And then it repeats. So then you get your fitness goals again, then you get your weekly fitness, then you get this weekly nutrition. So I basically have like 3 different versions of fitness planners in here, and I don't know which one I'll use. I could like maybe one week decide to use one and then just rotate to the next and just try out different things. I'm not really sure. Again, the goal here is to try to use up some of this stuff, so we'll see what happens. So then next, what we've got is my bucket list. Now it says bucket list, but honestly it's really not bucket list. What it is my birthday memory book, which kind of is bucket list and kind of is just like memory keeping for different things that I'm doing related to like my birthday year. And so it to me made the most sense to have bucket list there. And again, it's from, I believe, a Recollections planner. I trimmed it and washi taped it and punched it. And then what I have here are basically like trip notes, different things that we're going to be doing. Just like there are like the actual sheets from the planner with like lifetime bucket lists and travel bucket lists. Things I've already accomplished, a reverse bucket list, which is super awesome, a monthly bucket list, which is probably what I'll use the most here, and then you can put on bucket list for like June and then write these things down, and then it just repeats again. So that is it for bucket list, and again, that's basically my birthday memory book. If you have seen previous flip throughs, you know that what I'm using there is like the beginning like yearly overview perpetual calendar pages for my happy planner, and so what I'll do here is like take the notes for it and probably transfer like the milestones into that happy planner yearly overview kind of those pages, so I have like the big moments, and here's just like more of the notes and the details for those events. Okay, so that is bucket list. The next section that I have in my Frankenplanner is going to be my social media. Now I didn't have a divider for it, so what I ended up doing was cutting down a happy planner divider to the size that I wanted. Again, washied it and punched it in, so you can see here is basically the back of a happy planner divider. And then what I did here was I trimmed off the dates at the very top. All I did was just trim that part off, and I went ahead and left in like the full like 7 days, and so you can see, well, this one doesn't have that apparently. Okay, so I'm gonna have to show you this week right here. So this is what it looks like right here. If I open it up like this, I can get a full 7 day. All right, and I just kind of try to fold it down the lines, and so that's what I did, and I put these pages in here just to make note of like any tasks that I have related to social media. That kind of goes right there, and I've been loving the lined vertical for that, so it's super functional for me, and I enjoy that. And then I have some random notes here that I went ahead and cut down to A5. Classic skinny classic half sheet papers are perfect for this project. You really just have to trim off like the tiniest bit at the top or at the bottom, and it will fit in here just like so nicely. And so then last cover here, again, I don't know where this is from, but it is like washied and punched to go in here as my final section, and this final section is always my faith section. And so what we have here is I basically have like the gratitude section earlier if I use it for like the classic happy planner that I cut down to size, but if I'm using some of the other sheets, there's not a gratitude section, and so these sheets are from, I'm not sure where, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the Recollections planners, and it's a place for me to do the gratitude on this side, and then daily devotional with today's date, today's scripture, focus, notes, thoughts, and questions, and it just repeats. Right? And so I also have back here just random notes pages, and these line pages are blank on the back, which is perfect because when I close it up, it's mostly white on that backhand side. Okay. Wow, that was intense. Okay, hopefully you made it through that entire video. Again, like my favorite thing to do with Disbound is to switch it up and keep it like really super fun and fresh and interesting for me. And so I change it up constantly. Even within a month, I'm changing it up quite a bit. And so you can, I think, hear some of that as I was walking through some of these planners because I have so many different options that I can use from week to week. So that's my setup for June. I'm hoping this will really be something that is super functional for me in June, just because I am like going to be out and about quite a bit in the month, including like a week-long vacation where I will be planning to take just this single thing to make note of like all the things that are happening on vacation as well as just in my personal life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, hit the like button, and leave a comment if you have any questions or just are curious about any part of the setup. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have about it. But in the meantime, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys!